I'm Marna. Thank you for finding me. What are you afraid of? Seriously, drop a comment. Let me know. What are you afraid of? And don't tell me I ain't scared of nothing, because we're all afraid of something. What is it that really is your fear? What are you afraid to face? What is it that keeps you repeating the same pattern day after day after day after day, because stepping out into the unknown makes you vulnerable? What are you afraid of? I know for me, one of my deepest fears was of disappointing others. Or at least that's what I thought it was. But then I started following that fear a little deeper. Why was I afraid of disappointing someone? I was afraid of disappointing someone because if I disappointed them, then they'd leave. I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid of having no one to talk to but Marna. I was afraid of looking deep inside myself. I was afraid of what thoughts might be hiding in the crooks and crevices in my brain, because I know it's a twisty place. I used to write murder mysteries. I can write some really, really horrendous stuff. And there were times when I would write something and I would say, wow, that's really great writing, but I don't want to admit that came out of my head. I deleted some really great stories because I was afraid that if people knew I thought that way, or that I was capable of thinking that way, that they wouldn't want to have anything to do with me and I would be alone. Well, one thing that the virus has done, we've all gotten used to being alone, haven't we? I mean, there's the lucky folks who are in good, cohesive units where you have your pod of people. There's the stupid folks who just don't give a shit and still go out and do whatever they're going to do. But those of us who were solo at the beginning of this, we are learning a lot about being alone, about being with ourselves. We're learning a lot about the distractions we use. How many hours have you spent binging on Netflix or YouTube, or going from video to video to video so you don't have to be alone with your thoughts? What in your head are you so afraid of facing? Are you afraid that you're not going to like the person that you are? Are you afraid you're not going to like the person you've become? Are you afraid of the work that's needed to become the person you're meant to be? That's up to you. But still, tell me, what are you afraid of? What fear is holding you back? What fear keeps you on the mindless Netflix and potato chip binge? What fear are you running from when you go and desperately search for someone to spend time with? What fear are you avoiding by sitting around listening to other people talk? Because honestly, there's only one way you're ever going to get past that fear, whatever it is. And that is to face it. That is to take the time to go within and to look in the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind and accept what you find there. Accept the shadows. Accept that, yeah, you may think up some dark and twisted stuff. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're pathologically inclined to act on anything you think of. What happens when you go within and you face who you are? What happens when you look in the mirror of yourself and say, I love you? What happens when you look at yourself and say, I'm proud of all that you've overcome? What happens when you say, this is who I am? I'll tell you what happens. Your life starts to change. It changes in ways that you never would have predicted, and it changes immeasurably for the better. because you let go of the hate and the fear that you've been holding against yourself, and you start growing. So yeah, really, what are you afraid of?